Bands and musicians have traveled America's back roads for decades, entertaining those who sit on bar stools along the way. Tonight, we introduce you to America's bands and musicians right here in Central Illinois. This is Clubhouse Lounge Radio's Backroads and BarStools.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another session of Backroads and BarStools. Today, we sit at West End Pub down in Bement, and our good friend, Leighton Ewers. And you've been all over the world, and we've been in contact trying to get this done for a while. Welcome to Backroads and BarStools.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me.
Let's talk about how you got started. I know this is a place where you kind of got a start doing some, as Zach told us last week, you guys got together and kind of just jammed here at West End.
Yeah, we used to do open mics here. Jack Daniel would put those on. And man, that guy's just so good about including everybody in music and everything. But he'd do open mics. And so I'd come up here and play with them and, made a lot of friends. I mean, you make a lot of friends through music.
Oh, I'm sure.
And this is a great place to do it.
It is. And completely remodeled down here at West End and Bement. If you haven't been down here yet, man, it is beautiful. As you can see, the bar behind me, gorgeous. Plenty of room down here. Bring your guys down, bring your friends, and come down and see us down here at the West End Pub down in Bement. They've got Huggies, they've got T-shirts. You can get a Clubhouse Lounge T-shirt. We got some Huggies to give away here as well. So come get those down here at West End Pub, and we appreciate them hosting us today as well. But let's talk about your music. Let's get into that. That's what we're here for,
right?
And you. But let's talk about that. What you're I want to say you're a good old country boy.
I would say a small town hick.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that'll work too. But you like to play like the slower stuff too.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And I love that fact that it's mellow.
Yeah.
And so is that kind of where you go when you start writing things?
I think I start writing at whatever hits my noggin, really. I mean, I'll get an idea in my head and be like, oh, that's a good line. And, you build off of that. You don't know really if it's starting with a chorus or whatever it is. You're just starting to write what's ever in the air. I think Townes Van Sant said, whenever you write a song, you just hope you're in the right spot to grab that out of the air. And that's kind of like how I do it. It's just, I get an idea going and then, I run off with it.
So if you hear somebody say something or a line, you're like, wait a minute, okay, I can run with that.
Yeah.
That's kind of how it starts.
Trying to think of a line that I heard the other day. But yeah, that's really was. I'm drawing a blank on that. But that's really what it is. You just kind of grab a line and be like, oh man, there's a song in there,
Yeah.
And then I'll write.
So you've played here. Where are you originally from?
Monticello.
So you're originally from Monticello. That's where I live now too, and where the station's based out of. So I'm sure we'll see each other quite a bit. But what you said you played over near Springfield and Riverton.
I haven't played there yet. That's a venue that I went to the other day, and that's definitely a singer-songwriter. It's a great venue for to be heard, to have your music heard. Most of the places I play, I like to play 1905 in Assumption a lot. I'm getting ready to play the Crowbar next Sunday. And then I'll be at the Lucky Monkey on Friday. So I'll be actually doing a local show.
Yeah. That'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. Now, I know there's a lot of great venues around here that do live music as well. Are you one to kind of spread out as well?
Absolutely. I've been, keeping contact with some people over in Laura Pine. I'm sorry, I almost draw a blank on that. Laura Pine, she's a singer-songwriter over in Terre Haute. So, it's like we all kind of help each other out. It's what music really is around here, is a community. We've built a community by helping each other, just like, you and I.
Right.
Or, CU Bands and Fans, that we all help each other. And, like I said in my last interview, that's I think the token of being a great musician, being a great community, is helping each other.
Yeah, CU Bands and Fans has a great new podcast out that you were just on, you and Zach as well. And they're doing great things. And I can always rely on them to find out who's doing what where. And so if you don't follow CU Bands and Fans, please do on Facebook and that social media, because they're great to do that. But you said it's a community. Now, you've got friends all over the area. North, south, east, west. You played with Jack, who hopefully Jack will get on the show here soon. But the other guys you play with, is it a band, or do you have a band? Or?
So I do have a band. I put together a band for my album release, my LP release back in November. I have Derek. I'm drawing blanks on names today. I want to say Derek Price. That's the one that comes to my name. Derek Dallas is my drummer. Tucker Clark is my lead guitarist, and my bass player is Terry Gifford.
Okay.
So kind of got those guys together, but those shows won't be as often as what I do with my solo shows. So don't miss a show whenever I do a show with a full band. It's great fun and definitely a different experience than my solo shows.
One question I ask every week for everybody who comes on: what's your favorite place to play?
1905 thus far. 1905 Assumption. I think every time that I've gone there, from the very first day that I played on the street out front of it, Assumption has been a great town for music. They're there to drink, like I said earlier, whenever we play out, we're there to sell alcohol or beer, whatever, the bar is selling. But those people really, they show up to listen to the music too.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So you're playing outside. Is it you for outside, inside?
Well, when the weather's nice.
I know.
I'm telling you.
I know.
And here we are sitting in February,
Snow.
Right.
I know.
Right. So I'll play outside right now, but it's a little cold.
It is. And we're going to hear from you here shortly. You're going to play us one of your brand new songs too, as well.
Yeah.
But when you got into this and did you just how old were you when you started into this?
17.
Perfect.
17.
So you're about my age now, and we'll keep that under wraps because we don't need to go there. But you've been doing it for a while.
I have.
Pick up the guitar, and did it just kind of come to you?
No.
Did it take a while?
I think it's like everything, you got to work at it. You got any niche that you pick up, whether it be painting, knitting, songwriting, music, everything. A lot of us have to work at it. I don't play with some guys that, they pick up a guitar, man, they live in that thing and they just know it way better and they're able to just put it down and walk away. Bo Thomas is one of those guys I used to play with, and hopefully I get to play with him again. But he's one of those guys. He's just got that natural talent, I think it's every day you got to work at it. You got to love it. You got to want to do it.
I own a guitar.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, my fingers aren't real long, so I don't play very well with it.
Now, see, a buddy of mine, Nick Fenson, I used to play with. He had short, stubby fingers. Man, that guy could.
I didn't say
run.
stubby. Come on. No, it's fine. No, I enjoy strumming. Sometimes I go out the garage and I go out the clubhouse lounge and just strum the guitar just for a simple fact. Sometimes it's a release.
Absolutely.
I'm sure for you, it's kind of that way too, right?
Yeah, that songwriting. I mean, like I've got a composition book here. I've got a lot of songs in there, and I got another one full of songs, and I got my phone, my notepad full of song ideas and stuff. So yeah, I mean, that's definitely my release.
When it comes to putting what you've written in your composition book to what you are putting the music with, how difficult is that for you?
Well, you're tied to all your art. Any artist is tied to it by, like whether it be the paint you use, the words you use. I noticed that, in a lot of Zach Bryan's songs and a lot of Cody Jinks songs, if he writes them, you'll notice those same phrases, same words come up. So you're always tied to it, whether it be you that wrote it, whether it be you wrote it by yourself or wrote it with someone. If you wrote it, your signature's in there.
Yep.
So,
but putting the I want to say not the chorus, but the tune with it, if you will. So how hard is that to come up with? I mean, I know in your head, I like to write. I do poetry. I do a lot of things like that. But when you put a tune with a song you've written, do you already have that kind of in your head how you want it to go when you're writing?
I think so. And I was thinking about this the other night when I was writing. I think once you start hitting a chord, I think that chord kind of says to you what direction you're going. To me, it does. As I write these songs, whether it be bluesy, whether it be upbeat or whatever, it kind of writes itself when it comes to the melody for me.
Here at West End Pub down in Bement, Backroads and BarStools, and let's pronounce your name correctly because I haven't done it for a while and I felt bad. Leighton,
and I'll tell you, I know it's probably properly pronounced Leighton, but when I used to get in trouble by my mom and my sisters, it was Leighton.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's how it is.
Yeah, Leighton
middle
Keith.
name.
Yeah. So that's yeah.
I still hear that from my wife when I hear my first and middle name. I know I'm in trouble with her, but it's
Right.
okay. But we're down here once again, West End Bement, remodeled, great looking bar. We want to appreciate them for allowing us to come in today. sit here and do the Backroads and BarStools. And but let's get to know you. What kind of songs you got out right now? What do you have out right now that people can go find?
So I've got a 3-song EP. So the EP is called Long Road, and that was one of the first songs that I wrote sitting at my bar in my garage. And I like to say this a lot. I think that song manifested me into Nashville to record it, because I never had any idea when I wrote It's a Long Road Down That Music Row that I would step out on the front steps of the studio and see music grow. But as life happens, all that stuff came back full circle, because where I recorded all starts back in 2001 to 2003 when I was with a band called Background Noise. Now, this band used to open up for a band called ZMAs, Seeking Sid. They did Pink Floyd covers, but they were also very original. And this had Tom Grimm and Bill Dimkov, which Bill is my producer. And so 20 years, fast forward 20 or so years. And after I left 3 Gun Whiskey, I started doing my own stuff. I started writing my own songs. And so I started putting it on Facebook, just on my personal Facebook. And Bill found me and he's like, man, I really like what you're doing. I want to work with you. I'm like, really? It's kind of a blow whenever somebody says that. I'm like, okay, let's do something. So I was looking for a studio to record in at the time anyway. And he's like, well, Tom lives in Nashville and he started a studio down there. So why don't we go down there and do that? And to a musician, right? It's like, okay, I'm going to Nashville. So, right there, I went to Nashville and recorded. Now you don't have to do everything in Nashville. It's just it's a cool thing to say that, you did it, but there was a lot of great tools there. As far as the musicians there and the sense of community that's in Nashville. And I'm not talking about on Broadway. When you're there and you start meeting the musicians and all those guys have been where you are, they're all willing to help. So, I had future man Roy Wooten. He was the first guy that came that Bill told me that he's got to play drums for me. He plays with Bela Fleck and the Flecktones. Now they won five Grammys, and I'm blown away. Awesome. Right, I'm blown away by that. And then Josh Hunt, which is Alison Krause's drummer, he stopped by the studio just to give Tom some seasoning, and we're like, hey, would you mind throwing something down? So he put a little cajon on that. And later on, Bill went back down there, and Drew Smithers had put some lead on there. Now, if you don't know who Blackberry Smoke is, look him up. But he's been playing on stage with them quite a bit. So, and Blackberry Smoke's my favorite band. So, one link being between my favorite band and me. I love Drew and what he does. Yeah, right, exactly. 1 degree. 1 degree.
No, Blackberry Smoke, fantastic. If you don't know who they are, you will enjoy them thoroughly. I'm right with you, man. They're fantastic. Man.
Yeah. And then locally, I had Dyke Corson, I had Joe Aslan, Lindsay Lilly, and I want to make sure I get everybody in there. Bill did the bass. So I had the really great talent. Like I said, you don't have to go to Nashville. Everything's here. We have Dalton Woolridge, which is starting to be, he's just cutting his teeth to be a producer, so there's so much talent and so much support just right around here.
There is, and you're exactly right. That's why we're doing Backroads and BarStools, is to get to know some of that talent. And it's fantastic that, I can call one and like, hey, here's the name of 3 more.
Yeah.
That's what I love about it. That's why I'm having so much fun with this is it's continuous. Like I have a set list of probably 8 to 9 weeks out of Backroads and BarStools that we're doing, just because guys are willing to do it and right. Happy to do it. And it's
and we're happy that you're doing it. You're giving us a platform here as where, for years we didn't. And I think this all has to do with COVID too, because, COVID's kept us all in, and and for me, the way I really started driving with music was COVID really showed me that everything can stop.
Right.
So you might as well do today what you've been putting off, just do it and, live it up until you can't anymore. I guess.
Well, that's part of the reason the station's starting and we're doing this now is the fact that, it's something I love to do and love sitting down talking and music is a passion of mine. I love to sing. I just can't play it. It's all right. I can try, but it's not going to come out well.
Someone's got to listen too.
Right. Right. And usually it's in the shower and it's my wife's support. But no. So what's on the horizon for you? What's coming up next?
Well, I've got a show at the studio with Tom Grimm in Nashville. He does a thing called Guitar Foodie. Now he's got a webpage and he's also on Facebook, but he wrote a cookbook with Tiffany from the 90s. I Think We're Alone Now.
Yeah.
But so he does a cooking show and a music show, so it's all in one. So it's kind of like what we're doing, but after this, I would play music. You know, we would go cook something. So it's
I like
a lot
to
of
eat
fun.
too, so that's perfect.
Right. So I've got that coming up. I know a few of us are looking at some dates over in East Tennessee and some West Virginia parts because we've got some people down there that follow us too.
Awesome.
So we're trying to get out, you know, but I still got kids to raise and I still got a full-time job. So
I hear you.
I've got to stick around here. So I can't go wild with it just yet. But
let's talk about that. How hard I have to, you know, as you know, and you have kids as well. How hard it has been to balance your career with music and be the father and have kids as well.
Oh man,
that's something I don't think people actually realize about you guys is you still have a family and full-time jobs, and you're doing this as well.
Yeah, well, it's a tug. It's a definitely a challenge because I'm a paramedic, and for the past 8 years, I've been working 24 on, 48 off. You know, so when you're gone, you're gone. You know, so those nights, so you're working 24 hours, you know, so to try to make sense of being gone to go do a show, to go do something, you got to kind of overcome that guilt of being gone again.
Right.
But my kids are very supportive of it. You know, I mean, I'm sure they'll watch this. My daughter watched my last interview with me, and you know, she's actually she's playing the ukulele, she's playing the piano. Wow. And my other one, man, she's singing all the time. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. So I mean, I hope to inspire. I actually heard them in my oldest daughter's bedroom writing a song. They were playing ukulele and piano, and I walked up and they said, "No, you should go like this." And I'm like, I'm inspiring. And that's what I hope to do. So,
and you're probably inspiring more than you think too.
I hope so.
You know, the younger generation, let's hope they see it and see this and want to become musicians as well. Yeah. Tell you what, we're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna come back and he's gonna play us a brand new song. What's the name of it?
You Gotta Be There.
You Gotta Be There. Right when we come back after this break, we'll come back and Leighton will play the song right here, acoustic version, on Backroads and BarStools.
Clubhouse Lounge Radio. Grab a drink, take a seat, and enjoy the ride. CHLradio.com. It's local music talent, local sports, and we're on air everywhere. Clubhouse Lounge Radio. It's good for the soul.
Welcome back, everybody, to Backroads and BarStools. Keith Gibson, Clubhouse Lounge Radio here at West End Pub in Bement. If you haven't got down here yet, come down and see it. Brand new remodeled bar, beautiful down here. 30-foot bar, so there's plenty of room for everybody down here. Pool tables, dartboards, great mixes of drinks, and even got some old school stuff here. Old school, like old style Schlitz, Stag. I mean, it's right up old man's alley. But
creative bartenders too. Yes. They have creative shots.
Leighton Ewers, gonna take us out here at Backroads and BarStools this week with a brand new song. It's all yours, my friend. Thank you.
Thank you. This is a song that I wrote about the family farm. Started this off with a songwriter's challenge between me, David Woolridge, Jack Daniel, and Zach Tompkins. I was about a month late on this, but here it goes. It's called You Gotta Be There. I could tell you about the sunset sitting over that hill, but it wouldn't do it justice, wouldn't be the same. I could go on and on about the rolling hills and the place that I call home. It's where I go to roam, but you gotta be there. You gotta breathe in the air. Take a walk through the creek, back on Grandpa's land. Sit up top of that hill, soak in the view. You won't want to leave till you see the morning dew. I remember many summers walking those gravel roads. Many it takes me home. There's places in this world you can't just talk about. It's the places you go. Need to clear your head out. You gotta be there. You gotta breathe in the air. Take a walk through the creek, back on Grandpa's land. Sit up top of that hill, soak in the view. You won't wanna leave till you see the morning dew. Thank you.